It is win or go home here in the ALDS against the Tampa Bay Rays. Falling behind 1-2 in the series today. We've got games 4 and, if necessary, game 5 as well, as we'll find out if we can advance here in the playoffs. But we first got to pick up a win on the road if we want to return to our home fans. As you can see here in our 2 losses, we scored only 1 run, and in 2 of these 3 games we went to extra innings and need the offense to show up better today than they did in the last episode if we have any hope of advancing here. Fernando Bruno gonna be our pitcher today, and this is really our last chance to make something of this Season 8. We will be going up against Logan Gilbert, who in the postseason had an 8-inning shutout performance. I believe that was in their wild card matchup, not against us. But we will have the pleasure of going against him today. Hopefully we can get something going, but we're not going to start well, as McIntyre is retired on a generous strike 3 call. Gil hits that well, but it goes straight to the glove of the first baseman. So we're already 2 down, nothing doing so far. Rincon hitting just 154 in these playoffs, but he's going to get a base hit here. Trying to get something going early. Russell Mosqueda, been our best player, was really our only positive player from the last episode. Should have been an out, but it's off the glove of Wander Franco. I imagine that will count as an error. Yes, it will. So Mosqueda reaches, but not from his own volition. Guerra hitting even worse than Rincon here. Slapped that one to right field, but unfortunately got a little bit too much underneath it. Looked like it had potential for just a moment. Would have been a massive start, but instead will be scoreless in the inning. Fernando Bruno, one of our better pitchers of our starters, had the lowest ERA this last season. Gonna need some of his best stuff today. Pitching has been, for the most part, pretty dang good here in this series. It's really been the offense that's let us down. We're gonna get the day started with a ground out, a nice leaping throw from our superstar shortstop. Another ground out here. We'll retire Curtis Mead. And so much like we did, the Tampa Bay Rays will get 2 quick outs. Franco gets that just past the diving glove of Garrett Guerra. And so much like we did again, the third hitter gonna get on base, but Franco gets himself 2 bases with that lazy fly. Buxton, though, gonna swing at that high fastball. And Bruno gets his first strikeouts. Both teams with 1 hit and no runs in the first. Sandoval, not been good, but that's really been a common theme throughout our lineup. Like I said, I feel like Russell Mosqueda was really the only guy on offense to show up for us last episode. He starts his day with a ground out. Roman sharply cuts this one. It will get through the infield. So a base hit for Darren Roman, our DH. Rodriguez actually has a pretty high average. He's been hitting a lot of singles. Hasn't been able to do anything other than that, really. But here he's going to get retired. But he does put a man in scoring position for Blake Boyer. Really high clutch rating for us, but he's had a rough series. And he flies out here. So we've had guys in scoring position. Each of the first 2 innings have been unable to bring them home. Garcia up. 1-2 pitch is smashed to right. Off against the wall. McIntyre corrals it, but it's going to be a double for Garcia with 1 down here in the second. The second extra base hit for Tampa Bay in this game. Williams. He's gonna get struck out on that beautiful changeup right on the borderline of that bottom of the zone. Ump says he went around. 2 down now. Looking to make the Rays strand their own guy in scoring position for the second straight inning, and that's exactly what they do. Both teams doing a good job of getting themselves scoring opportunities, but neither team has taken advantage of them yet. Gill into foul territory. That one is caught, so 2 down here in the third. Looking like an uneventful inning for us. Rincon, though, hits this one deep, but not quite deep enough. So a quiet third for Chicago. Not able to even threaten to score this time around. Bruno, 2-2 pitch is hit right to Russell Mosqueda. Barely needed a move to make that play. Our not super happy about it. But like he hit it hard enough to get a hit. And in many cases, that would be true. Josh Lowe, this one's deep and caught on the warning track by Chet Rodriguez. 2-hitter up. Curtis Mead. This one's going to foul territory. Chet Rodriguez ranging and making the play. Nicely done by our left fielder. So a quiet third on both sides. Top of the fourth now. Mosqueda back up. Really need him to spark something in this offense as we're in the fourth. Still nothing on the board either side. Something that we've seen all too often here for our offense in this series. Guerra. This one will get through the infield right up the middle. Corralled in center field, and it's a single for Guerra. Our problem is when we get hits, they're almost all singles, which isn't helping us all that much because we can't string enough singles together typically to bring anyone home. Here we've got a good opportunity though, just 1 out and a man in scoring position. But a lazy fly by Roman. It's going to make it 2 outs. Can Chet Rodriguez come through for us? Hitting over 400 on the series, but here he's going to round out. So 2 extra hits on the board, but once again, if they're both singles, it's hard to do much with them. Needed that one more base hit, but couldn't quite get it. Franco. This one struck well, and it's gonna go over the wall. Your AL MVP for this season is the one to get the scoring started for us. Bottom of the fourth, 373 feet on that home run. And the first move has been made in this game. Took, 3.5 innings to do it. But now the Rays have put some pressure on us to show up in this ball game. 1 run and 2 out of the 3 games so far has been all we've been able to muster. And so there's no guarantee that we could pass it here in this game. Bruno starting to rack up the strikeouts a little bit here in the fourth. That's his second here of the inning, 5th overall. A chopper here from Miguel Garcia, and Bruno is going to cover the bag, and that will be the end of the inning. Of course, Franco getting his team on the board. Strikeout there for Boyer to start the 5th. McIntyre pitches straight to second base. And things not looking good for us here in the 5th either. Full count for Jason Gill. Can we at least do something? He's going to get pegged. Bringing up Rincon, who's going to draw a walk. So once again, we've got a man in scoring position, but we only have 2 outs. No room for error, but we've got our best player up to the plate. No one I trust more to get a runner in scoring position across, but this time couldn't get the job done. Nice strikeout there, getting Carson Williams to bite on that pitch well outside the zone. Bringing up Dustin Harris. Another ground out. We've seen a lot of those here in this one. Bruno has Mason Hour, and he's going to get him to fly out to center as long as McIntyre can make the easy play, and that he does. 5 innings through this one. Offense needs to come up and play some baseball here. Garrett Guerra is going to get that one fair. Should be a double for him. And he does slide into second safely. An extra base hit to lead off the inning is by far the best start to an inning we've had so far. We cannot waste it. Sandoval smacks this one. Struck well to right field. It is back, and it is over the wall. Sandoval with the home run. 405 feet puts Chicago on top in this game. An absolutely massive hit from our first ever draft pick in this franchise series. We see Sandoval make plays every episode from that catcher's spots. Been a while, it feels like, since he's made an awesome play on offense, but he comes through for us here and ends the day for Gilbert. Coming in would be Kyle Wright to relieve him in the 6th. 4.28 ERA this past season. Roman, that one gonna be a base hit for him. Continuing our great start to the 6th. Rodriguez up next. He's 0 for 2 today. He's been doing a good job of getting singles in this series, though. But no, this time he's going to ground into a double play. You got to be kidding me. We can't be grounding into double plays here. Oh, that's going to bring up Boyer. He's going to sneak that one through the infield. So we've got a man back on first, but this time we've got 2 outs. A man on first isn't nearly as valuable with 2 outs as it is with 0. McIntyre is going to strike out in the end regardless. 4 hits, 2 runs on the board. Easily our most successful inning, and now we put the pressure on the Rays. Bruno. Low in the zone was that pitch, but it gets through the infield. Josh Lowe with the single. Curtis Mead up to the plate. He's going to get a good hold of this one. It's back. And it is past the wall. And Tampa Bay responds right back with a 2-run homer of their own. We had the lead for like 5 seconds. Tampa Bay with a beautiful response. They get the single. Mead comes up. Hits the home run right after that. And just like that, Tampa Bay once again leads by a run. Perfect response from them. Bruno stays in. Under Franco. That one out of the zone, but he's going to get called out on it with the throw from Guerra. Byron Buxton going to beat the shift for a base hit. He's beaten our shift a couple of times. Maybe we should just, I don't know, stop pitching to the, stop giving him the shift. Moya would come in after that base hit allowed to Buxton. He'd get the ground out. Buxton advances to second for Miguel Garcia. But a nice reaching grab by Chet Rodriguez. And that ends the inning. Full count here for Gil. 0 for 2 in this ball game. And he's going to get to 0 for 3 with that ground out. Rincon could tie this up with just one swing. Had a nice hit on that ball, but Williams with a flash of the glove. Going to get him out. Mosquera has yet to put his imprint on this game. Here he's got a nice hit. And once again, it's another home run. Been the 4th homer between these two teams in this game, and it ties us back up at 3 apiece. Mosqueda always gonna come through for our team, and it seems like every game he's at least done something to try to put us in an opportunity to try and win. Now we just need his teammates to come and help him out a little bit to end this game. Not gonna happen here in the 7th though. We'll have to wait until the 8th. But can we hold this lead? That is the question. Last time we took the lead, well, we don't even have a lead. What am I talking about? Last time we scored, I should say, Tampa Bay responded right back. Got to avoid that this time around. Oh yeah, pitching to Williams, and he crushed it again. Whatever we do, Tampa Bay just comes back and matches it. We can't win. No matter what we do, it's just matched. We couldn't match the Wander Franco solo homer. And that's the difference in this ballgame right now. 4-3 now the score, the 5th homer of this game. If nothing else, it's been an exciting matchup. But we need to win or our season's over. We can't be giving up 3 home runs, man. Dustin Harris gets the base hit afterwards. Our swinging at the curve ball beneath the zone. Low. Very hittable pitch, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Sharp hit single. Puts a runner in scoring position for Tampa Bay. Meade also going to get a base hit. Tampa Bay going to send someone home, and it's going to be now a 2-run difference in this one. 1 run, I feel confident we could get in the next 2 innings. 2, starting to get a little bit more shaky. Rodriguez would come in. He'd walk Wander Franco. Not a terrible decision, but the guy you've got next is Byron Buxton. And that one is fair and past the glove of Rincon. No! Byron Buxton puts 2 more runs on the board, and now the lead is starting to feel insurmountable. The 4th run of the 7th for Tampa Bay, and this is how close it was. Oh no. Xavier Isaac gonna fly out, but he's gonna get the sacrifice fly. And now it's 3-8. We've got 2 innings to score 5 runs, and that's just to tie it. A lot of pressure on the team. Not going to get off to a good start here. Roman, that's his 3rd hit of this ball game. He showed up here in game 4. One on, 1 down for Rodriguez. No hits from today. That is going to change here. He hit the gap successfully. Should be a base hit and bring home the 4th Chicago run, an RBI double for Rodriguez. He's probably been our 2nd best hitter in these playoffs. Chet Rodriguez, our 8th hitter. An afterthought. The walk by Boyer has man on first and second. No, Carl! Carl! We were having a good inning! Carl! What are the 2nd double play of the game for our team? That's the one thing you couldn't do. Carl McIntyre maybe just ended our season. Fast forward and through the bottom of the 8th here, Juan Moreno would come in and end up getting through the inning without allowing a run. So it's a 4-run difference. Top of the 9th, one more opportunity to keep our season alive. Jason Gill, excellent starts. Could you imagine that base hit when we still had runners on base if McIntyre hadn't grounded into a double play? Rincon gonna retire. Not surprising. He rarely shows up for us in big moments in our spotlight games, unfortunately. Great player in simulation. Mosquera, though, somebody that we can depend on much more reliably, but this time not going to be the case. He had that solo home run, but otherwise hasn't been able to do much today. Guerra, the last chance we have in the season, and the Rays will win the series 3-1. Was an exciting game for sure, back and forth there for a couple of innings, but ultimately the Chicago White Sox have been eliminated here in year 8. The most wins in baseball, couldn't even win a playoff series, couldn't even make it competitive, really. Our only win was a 13-inning 6-5 game. That's what it took for us to win. Our offense was not bad today. I think it was neither good enough to win nor like bad enough to lose. It was just average, and then our pitching just wasn't as good as it has been. The White Sox are officially eliminated from the playoffs by the Tampa Bay Rays. A tough end to what was a fun season for the team. And with this loss comes the end of this series in terms of going at the pace that we've been going through the first 8 seasons. Really wanted to win the championship with this team, but kind of, as I stated at the end of last episode, I've been playing MLB the Show 23 for quite some time, and we're not too far from MLB the Show 24. I know it's not coming out anytime soon, but played this game a ton now. I've had plenty of fun moments, but I've seen too many of these 1-2, and of course this one was 1-2 until the very end. Too many of these games to commit to doing another year. I pitched the idea of maybe having this season, win or lose, be the last season, and there was actually more support for it in the comments than I thought. Some people, saying that they were also burned out from the game. Others wanting me to commit to what my next series would be. Others just hoping I could get the 2K series out, but nobody really, at least expressing in the comments, any distaste for ending the series after year 8. Of course, I will be doing a long-term sim here. That will be coming out fairly soon. I imagine within a week, if not definitely within 2. I know I've said that I'll do long-term sims in the past and I haven't done them. But with this one, I am committing 100% to doing it. Not only because the job is unfinished here, and I think we're so very close. I honestly think we could win our first championship as soon as next season. Of course, we had the most wins in baseball this last season, just flopped in the playoffs. I mean, taking a look at some of these playoff stats. Is this going to be for the playoffs? Yes, it is. So, I mean, I always forget. All these games have different controls. Rodriguez ended up hitting 375. They were all singles. Mosquera was our best player in the playoffs by a mile, had 5 RBIs, 3 home runs, 5 hits, tied for second most. Roman was okay, but his were all singles, just not enough extra base hits. Other than Mosquera, nobody was able to get more than, I think, 1, maybe 2 extra base hits in that entire series. Just not good enough. The offense flopped. But everybody, for the most part, almost everybody is still on the up and up and has even more room to improve. And so I think we'll continue to get better this is a team, this is a core that I'm confident can win a championship at some point, but we're going to have to do it in a long-term sim. And unfortunate that it got to this point. I was really hoping we could win a championship before we got to the long-term sim. I just can't really commit to doing full seasons anymore. Just the thought of doing 10 more episodes of watching this game. I mean, games like this last one, if we could get games like that more often, that could be like once every 2 or 3 games, I would play another season. The reality is you get a game like that like once every 6 or 7 games. You get that like once a season. And so I don't know. I think it's time to sim out these players' careers, see where they go, and see if we can win some championships in this long-term sim. I will say I know there has been some opinions on the next series on this channel. And so I'll just end this episode by talking about what my plans are there. I know one opinion in particular has been very strongly suggesting that we do an NHL 24 series. I will say I've done about 2 to 3 hours of research into that game between looking at its franchise mode and looking at its CPU versus CPU gameplay. And that's not going to be my next series. Now, I'm not opposed to doing something with hockey in the future, but it's just a sport I really don't know at all. I was learning rules about it just by watching the CPU versus CPU gameplay, like when the goalie covers the puck and then you have to go to that little red circle or whatever. Yeah, I just don't know anything about the game, and it has kind of the same issue with soccer for me, which I've also debated maybe putting on the channel, where it's just like this continuous game, and so editing and figuring out what moments to put in an edited episode is just something that I just don't really know how I would want to do it yet. There is a time in the sports gaming period where it happened last year where it was kind of only baseball on the channel, so I put up 2 series. MLB the Show 24. I'm going to be only doing 1 series, and so maybe during that period I'd be more open to experimenting with other sports that maybe I don't know, but I do have another Madden project that I've been wanting to do now for a while, ever since it kind of became clear that our London Madden series has kind of become dominant, and that one's might be ending soon as well. I kind of have a replacement for that, and I'd really like to have 2 series as much as I possibly can have it going forward on the channel. 3 series, it's not terrible, but you end up having some series that only release like once in a week, which just I don't think is quite ideal. You could release, every series twice in a week, but I ultimately think the best pace for a series on YouTube is 3 episodes a week. And so that's what we've been doing with my NBA series, and then the other ones just kind of get either 1 or 2 depending on the week. So I think going forward, I'm going to try to stick to 2 series. This one, of course, we'll only have 1 episode left. Depending on how our playoff run goes in London, that one might only have a few episodes left, and then we'll start a new series after that. Probably Madden based, unless I change my mind about the NHL series. So anyway, that is all I've got for this episode. An exciting game, but ultimately we fell short. We'll be back soon to see if this team can ultimately have what it takes to win a championship at the MLB level. That long-term sim will be coming out soon, and I'll see you then.